welcome into the
Frank
and Kim Really Big Tuesday morning show. It is 6:30 in the morning, and welcome into the world as we know it. Isn't that right?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Yes. Good morning. Hope you missed us. Not really.
Well, I kind of do.
No, it's.
Hope you just bawled your eyes out.
I hope you bawled your eyes out that you haven't been hearing us lately.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, welcome into 104.3 FM The Pirate, where we play almost everything, pretty much whatever I like, and occasionally what other people like as well. So if you hear a stupid song, it's not one that I like.
That's not true.
That's not true, according to Kim, right? Is that not true?
No, everything we play is good.
Okay.
Yes.
Anyway, welcome into Tuesday. It is the 16th of June. Do you know what's coming up in a few days? Specifically Monday.
Why are you going to put me on the spot like that?
Okay, that's all right. I'll tell everybody because you're probably not thinking of it, because I wasn't thinking of it either. Quite literally hadn't thought about it at all, but I noticed that I got a notice from our credit card clearing company that they would be closing on Monday because of a holiday. I'm like, what? Holiday Monday? Banking holiday? You know about it? It's a holiday Monday? Not for us.
I don't know.
It's Juneteenth. What is that holiday for?
I thought Juneteenth was Friday.
It is. But
I think it said Monday.
But clearing or whatever, maybe it is Friday. What is Juneteenth for?
It marks the anniversary of the last freed slaves. It's not necessarily a bad holiday. It's the fact that when you get to like Black Lives Matter and things like that, they love to emphasize it and make it just a straight like us against them thing. I'm like, I would just be celebrating it as America, all of us fighting for their freedom, personally. But.
Okay. Really?
Yes.
I didn't really know what it's about. No idea. Not really, because I really, really don't know. But I just noticed it's coming up. We don't get it off. So
no, we don't.
We don't.
Now, supposedly, it's also like Confederacy Day.
Is it?
Yeah.
Really?
I think.
I don't know about that either.
I don't know. Maybe that was another day. But
I don't know about that either.
I have nothing to say about that.
But I did read about something that was posted yesterday on one of our favorite websites, Jackson Jambalaya, over at Kingfish. I do read this blog quite frequently. But one of the things it posted yesterday that I was really kind of thought was funny, and I'm going to tell everybody this morning because it is our Pick on Jackson segment.
Okay.
That we usually do. But this one right here just fits the bill. And first of all, I want to say that I think Mayor Horn's doing a much better job than the past administrations.
I agree.
In my opinion, because you don't hear
and see where
you don't hear
to start from.
Yeah, right. I mean, he was at least he was elected to try to clean up this mess that they have next door in Jackson. Anyway, so what I was going to say was I was reading Jackson Jambalaya, and this is really kind of cute and funny because it's the headline that got me. Okay, are you ready for this? June 15th, 2026. The hallucinations of Jackson's attorney. So the city of Jackson's attorney caught hallucination bug yesterday in Ridgeland as they got caught citing ordinances that simply do not exist.
What?
The Ridgeland Board of Aldermen approved a conditional use permit for construction of a power plant at 1972 County Line Road in April of 2025. The plant will be used to provide electricity for the Amazon Web Services data center. Okay, use the construction permit. The city of Jackson Richwood Estates Homeowners Association, Lakeover, Norwood, and Valley North Improvement all challenged the permit's approval in Madison County Circuit Court a month later. The plaintiffs argued the board ignored its own zoning ordinances in approving the permit. Now that makes sense, right? I mean, the people that live in Richwood, Lakeover, Norwood, and Valley North, they have a voice too, right? They need to be heard.
Sure.
I don't disagree if they have an issue with it, and they're taking up that the Board of Aldermen ignored its own zoning ordinances. So attorneys Cherie Prince and Samuel Begley represent the city of Jackson, while John Scanlon and Jerry Mills represent Ridgeland. So the case goes through the various motions as a motion to dismiss, and its various responses were filed. Entergy, MCDE, DA, and Environmental Advocates of Mississippi jumped into the fray as well as they joined the lawsuit or filed briefs to the court. Madison Circuit Court Judge Steve Ratcliffe denied the motion to dismiss. Thus began the battle of briefs. So, problem arises when Jackson submitted its reply brief. The brief quoted Ridgeland zoning ordinances that don't exist. Ridgeland pointed out the hallucination in this brief. Here it goes. You ready for this?
Yes.
Appellants argue that Ridgeland zoning ordinances require documentation establishing that posted notice occurred pursuant to section 600, yada, yada, yada. Proper mailed notice were required pursuant to this section, and a new notice for continued hearings pursuant to this section. However, these cited provisions are not found within Ridgeland zoning ordinances or any amendments thereto. However, even if these city cited provisions were in Ridgeland zoning ordinances, Ridgeland complied with all notice requirements, and there was no violation of due process. So Ms. Prince took a turn in the hot seat as Judge Ratcliffe grilled her about the hallucination at a May hearing. And I'm going to spare you all of this because it's a lot. And Ms. Prince, he goes through talks. So he talks about how it doesn't exist, and that didn't exist in the one that's on the record, including all the amendments, and it doesn't exist in the one that's there now. I don't know if it's from a separate zone. Perhaps it was an inadvertent error, but I want to say that the argument that was made there was we're violating all these proper mail notice things and citing provisions, or whoever wrote the brief is, and our provisions from zoning ordinances that just aren't there. Ms. Prince says, Your Honor, one, I apologize for oversight, and two, I would like to bring to the court's attention that during the time that the briefs were filed, these were December of 25, around the first of the year, Your Honor, during that period of time, I used professional paralegal assistance. And not just in this case, but there are other cases where there have been instances where there has been authority that has been cited. Because my firm does use AI, but we use it ethically. We have a system to use it. But during this time I was out, and it's of record. It's been in the paper and other places where there have been instances where I have not caught this. And Your Honor, as I was preparing today, I did not catch this. All right, so you hear what I'm reading, right?
Yeah.
But that may be the reason that there is that it is there. It is not intentional, but it is something that has been addressed publicly, and the time period is the same that all this during this same period when I was out and required additional assistance. I don't, if it pleases the court, we would ask that these portions of the record not be considered or stricken as it relates to the court's consideration of the arguments. And I do apologize for this being inadvertently in here, Your Honor. All right, so
it's a long way to say oops.
Yeah. Anyway, it goes on and on and on, but it goes on and on. The thing here, though, is this is not the first time Miss Prince first brush with hallucinations. Jackson Water called her out on it when she represented the infamous Blossom Apartments. As LBT reported, Prince asked for permission to refile pleadings after Jackson Water pointed out errors in the counterclaim caused by AI. Wilson said Prince should not be allowed to do so because the defendant failed to show excusable neglect and good faith. Good faith requires more than filing a brief after the fact. It requires showing the party acted with candor and diligence with the court. At a minimum, it reflects a reasonable lack of standard in presenting evidence to the court. Prince apologized for the mistake, explaining that an assistant used AI to craft the counterclaim and that she should have paid more attention to it. Judge Wingate took no action against Ms. Prince regarding the hallucinations despite Jackson's water protest. Kingfish makes a footnote. As stated last week, lawyers are not getting the message as they keep getting caught misusing AI to draft their pleadings. Judge Ratcliffe should hammer Ms. Prince, fine her several $1,000s, and report them all to the bar. I could not agree more. I would like to know, Ms. Prince, since you are representing Jackson and you're representing these homeowners associations, where in the hell did you go to law school? And you're talking about you use professional paralegal services, but yet you didn't read what you filed.
Exactly.
I mean,
You
seriously, you can't blame it on that. And you can't blame it on the fact that evidently you're not competent enough to use actual AI. And you've now been caught
and have a monochrome of
and you've been caught twice.
Sense.
I mean, so when I'm reading the hallucination of Jackson's attorney, duh, no kidding. You're just bringing stuff up out of thin air, and you're trying to what's a good word for it? Cheat on your job, I guess.
Big time.
Because what are you doing? You're utilizing AI, which I have said this plenty of times. Did I not just say this to you the other day?
Yeah.
We were talking about AI, and we're talking about how good AI is as a tool, but you have to know how to use the tool.
Exactly.
We really need to be teaching people AI class. You should not be allowed to use it until you have some kind of license to carry.
Okay, so because seriously, if you have a title, like she has a title, she's a lawyer, you shouldn't be using it as if you don't know anything about law.
Well, I mean, apparently she's a lawyer.
Well, that's what
I
I'm
guess
saying.
So if that is passed the bar,
if that is her professional title, then she needs to, like we've said before, have a monochrome of sense.
Yeah,
it's good to use AI to
as a
fill in
tool
gaps
for thing. Yeah,
but not.
I mean, you used it to write a court brief that you filed that was technically inaccurate.
It's like being, in college and using AI to fully write an essay for you and just turning it in.
How did that turn out?
Without even proofing it.
How did that turn out when you plagiarize stuff?
That's what I'm saying. You don't even proof it.
My teachers gave me a 0.
I was fixing to say, they usually go through there and be like,
yeah,
okay,
right.
No.
There's a reason why we did things the way we did things growing up in school. It was because anything worth having is hard to obtain. Yes. And apparently Ms. Jackson worked hard to obtain her law license, but now she's decided to shirk everything and try to take the easy way out.
I do have a question.
Sure.
How long has she been a lawyer?
I don't know. It doesn't tell us.
Because that would make perfect sense if it was in more recent times. Then she probably used AI to get through law school. I'm just saying.
Well, then what does that say about the law school?
I mean, we won't go there.
I don't know where Miss Prince gets her law. I don't have a clue. I don't know where she got her law degree. Maybe
like if she could utilize something like Chat GPT in college, then I would love to go back and look at her papers.
Well, I guess that's true, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the whole point. I mean, why would you file something in front of the court and have no idea what's in it?
Hallucinations.
I mean, hallucinations, hilarious. I mean, but you have no idea what's in it, and it clearly doesn't represent the facts.
That's just embarrassing.
And in my opinion, if I'm the judge, if Frank is, if Frank is dictator, if I'm judge, I'm like, Miss Prince, what planet are you on? We're in this court, and this is the case we're dividing, and you've completely, mucked it up here. So I'm dismissing this whole lawsuit with prejudice.
I mean, that would
don't
just
bring
have
it
to
back.
I mean,
because you don't know what you're doing.
She has no professionalism because
you failed
seriously,
your client.
You failed. it's embarrassing, and you should not practice law anymore.
You failed your client.
I would have to be okay. I'm going to go find a different avenue.
I'm probably not going to.
Personally,
I'm probably not going to go to that extreme and take her law license. What I'm saying
not
is
take it. She should give it up.
Well, okay. I mean, she could do that voluntarily if she wanted to, but I'm just saying I definitely would fine her for filing false information before the court, and there would be some reprimand from the court, and then the whole lawsuit would just be dismissed because you're filing fictitious hallucination briefs that have nothing to do with the facts.
By the way, good morning to our friend Daryl from Unleashed. Yes, good morning.
Yeah,
yes, we are back.
Get you some coffee.
I know we weren't here last week. Like, again, hopefully y'all bawled your eyes out, and now you're just like a sigh of relief because we're back. So stay tuned.
Hello, I'm Mayor Wyndham, and I'm thrilled to show you the city creating its own future. Pearl is located in Rankin County, the fastest growing county in Mississippi, and there's no question why. Access to great schools, even better shopping, and unbridled beauty make Pearl a town that truly embodies its name. And with a truly exceptional team of first responders, public safety is another key component of our success. With fantastic housing opportunities from quaint suburban neighborhoods to lakefront properties, there's a place Pearl. Get the location. Right outside of Pearl is the crossroads of the South, where Interstate 20 meets Interstate 55. From here, you can travel anywhere within the state or the country. Or you can choose to stay right here in Pearl to enjoy a Mississippi Braves baseball game or experience the small town atmosphere, community pride, and heart of the local residents.
I'm Larry Nix, host of Defining Moments, and I'm thrilled to announce the launch of Defining Moments with Larry Nix, the podcast, exclusively on IgniteMS.tv, Facebook, and YouTube. You can also listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, and Pandora with real stories, real people, and real purpose. So join us each week as we deep dive into the life-changing moments that shape who we are and where we're headed. From faith to family, challenges to triumph, every story has power. We are touching the lives of people with the spirit of hope for life. That's Defining Moments with Larry Nix, the podcast. You can continue to listen to us on 104.3. Also follow us for updates, previews, and more news on our Facebook page at IgniteMS.tv.
Welcome back into the
Frank
and Kim.
Really
big,
huge, gigantic, ginormous. There you go. I said it.
Glamtastic.
Glamtastic.
Show.
Ginormous. That's the new one.
Well, there's more in the news besides hallucinating attorneys.
Oh, I would expect that.
From Jackson.
Yeah.
There's just more.
Sad to say.
I know, right? It's sad to say. But there is more. There is more in the news. Do you remember when Chokwe and all of them got indicted in Jackson?
Yes.
By the feds, bribing, money bribing and all that stuff. Remember all that?
I do.
All right. So the Justice Department, the hearing's coming up, by the way. The Justice Department wants to bar Jody Owens, expert witness, from testifying in his trial next month. So the federal grand jury indicted, along with other people, County Attorney Jody Owens, who was the former Jackson Antoine Mayor and former Jackson City Councilman Aaron Banks on public corruption charges. Trial scheduled to start next month. So the prosecutors filed a motion to exclude Owens' expert testimony because for a failure to comply with the rules. The expert witness and their area of expertise are Caleb Burns, laws, regulations, and practice governing campaign contribution, Robert King and Jen Sparks, FBI procedures, policies, and strategy, Charles King, significance of deadlines in government contracting for RFPs and RFQs, and Dr. Mark Welch, MD, of the Carter Gregg fame, psychiatric and psychological effects of alcohol on Owens. The motion claims the defense did not include any opinions with the list of experts. There was no list of cases where said experts testified in the last 4 years. There are no identifiers for Burns, thus the government has no clue where Burns works or lives. The Justice Department argues it is testimony. Rules of procedure require attorneys to provide a complete statement of the expert testimony that will testimony and a list of publications. The expert has appeared as an author. Now I'm going to spare you the rest of this, but basically what they are saying is they're not following the rules of the court as have been the rules of the court since the court. If you're going to have an expert, there are certain rules you have to follow according to the court, which only makes sense. I could just say I'm an expert in elephant breeding. Prove I'm not. I'm an expert in elephant breeding, Kim. So when it comes to elephant breeding, I know more than anybody because I'm an expert. Basically, I'm going to go testify in court today on elephant breeding because I'm the expert. Now, do I have any standing to do that at all?
Not at all.
No, because I have no idea about elephant breeding, period.
And you have no way to prove that you do.
And you have no way to prove that I don't. Exactly. So the court says in the rules, if you're going to give an expert witness testimony, you have to file the testimony, number one. Number two, your resume. What makes you an expert in it? First, do you have degrees? Second of all, what all cases have you appeared in before? Those sort of things that determines whether you're expert. I do have a little bit of actual knowledge about that because I have testified before in state and federal court as the nature of my job here.
But not as an elephant breeder, right?
And not as an expert witness.
Well, not as an elephant breeder either.
Especially not as an elephant breeder because I'm not an elephant breeder.
Okay.
Well,
just making sure.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I breed so many elephants these days. Anyway, my point being, here's just another instance where we're talking about not only we got hallucinations from some attorneys in Jackson. Now we have attorneys that have been caught with their hand in the cookie jar, so to speak. And they're going to put forth Caleb Burns, who is supposed to represent laws, regulations, and practices governing campaign contributions, yet they have no resume for him that they did not file with the court. Now, he may have an extensive one.
So file it. If you do, number one, who's letting these little, quote mistakes just slip under the radar? I mean, these are very important things to handle before you go to court. And I mean, I hate to tell them, but they're not going to get any kind of,
right,
looking to the side on this one. I mean,
well, they further go on to say down in the article that the submission of Burns as an expert witness should be rejected because the distinctions between lawful campaign contributions and conduct involving bribery is an inadmissible legal conclusion. The Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals held in Marshawn Chrysler's appeal that campaign contributions can indeed be used to bribe public officials, but such is a question for the jury, not for an expert witness. I would agree. Prosecutors further argue about FBI policies and practices are not relevant and thus are inadmissible. Okay. I don't really care about that. I'm more concerned about the fact that you're going to put forth an elephant breeder who's going to be an expert witness on elephant breeding, who has no idea that elephants exist because you haven't been able to produce any documentation saying such. Well, and I guess the point that I'm trying to make here is, here we go doing the best they can to cover up their bad deeds.
Yes.
That's really what it boils down to.
Yes.
You're just trying to cover up what you did. Now, look, I have no issue at all with you mounting a staunch defense and making the state or the federal government prove its case. That's the system that we have.
Correct.
And I have absolutely no problem with that at all. This is a criminal hearing, and it could determine whether you spend the next few years in prison or you get to walk around and enjoy listening to the birds in the park. Right?
Yes.
So I got no problem with you putting forth a strong defense. But what I do have a problem with is, if you can't get the briefs right, if you can't file the stuff properly, if you're using AI to do it and you're not proofreading it,
You get no sympathy or slack.
and then here you're putting forth a person who you don't provide the resume when you know the rules of the court, you're just trying to slide it in, I guess. That's just underhanded. And if I'm the judge, I'm like, come on, man. I'm not. We're not doing this. You know, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals has already ruled on a lot of this stuff, especially like on the campaign contribution. We're not doing this. You know, I'm throwing that out. You're going to go to trial, and look, if you did it, you did it.
Own up to it. Seriously.
As my co-host says, we
Yeah.
should take her advice.
Yeah.
And just be done with
own
it. Spare the rest of us all this misery of having to watch you go through it.
And I mean,
the end result is you're going to be found guilty
and
because you did it.
I just want to say too, if you cared so much about Jackson, right, you could save Jackson a lot of money by just being honest. I mean, seriously, going through all this stuff. If you did it, you did it. Fine, take a deal. I don't care. But own up to what you did. I mean, Jacksonians deserve at least that.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that at all.
Yeah.
I think that's a good place to end the Jackson bashing this morning.
Okay.
Don't you?
Yeah, 7 o'clock, new hour.
Coming up
Refresh.
on 7. Yeah.
New segment.
Yeah, coming up on it. But I mean, here we are just pointing out more of the same.
Yes. So
I really want to expect something different. You know, we need something different.
So stay tuned. We will be back. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. So come on by. We'll be back.
Social Security is with you through life's journey from birth to retirement. As your life changes year to year, so do your needs. For over 80 years, Social Security has helped to meet your needs and is committed to improving access to the services that make a difference in your life. Today, you can verify your earnings, estimate your future benefits, apply for retirement, manage your benefits, and even change your address, all from the comfort of your home. Social Security's online services help put you in control with secure access to your information anytime, anywhere, allowing you to spend more time with family, friends, or simply just enjoying the day. Social Security, securing today and tomorrow. See what you can do online at socialsecurity.gov.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Listen, as a hiring manager, I've got to tell you, the best job candidate isn't always the typical candidate. Sometimes they're a grad of life.
Meet the grads of life. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Sometimes the best candidates aren't the ones you're used to.
Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Welcome back into the
Frank,
and Kim
really big,
huge dynamic
Dynamic. I
morning.
like the new one. Dynamic.
Tuesday morning show.
That's a new one.
That's a new
I like it.
one.
Dynamic.
I know, right?
Only on this show.
Only on this show. Anyway, welcome into a Tuesday here at 104.3 FM The Pirate, where we are on the flagship station. You can also catch us streaming on various places. Just do a Google search.
YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook,
Okay, fine.
along with 104.3 FM The Pirate, if you
Yeah.
can hear us on the radio.
And if you just are so inclined, you can pull up various streaming applications like, TuneIn and FM radio and several other apps. And you can find us at 104.3 FM The Pirate. And we do stream live on the internet right there, 24/7, 365.
Exactly.
So if you like what you hear, you can listen to us on multiple places. All right. So welcome back into Tuesday. I'm restarting my stuff down here because apparently I was having an issue trying to get, and that's why I was having an issue on my tablet trying to get
trying to
get some stuff to pull up that I've had saved, and here we are. All right, so Spencer Pratt. Let's talk about him for just a minute.
Yes.
Because I did want to talk about what's going on out at L.A. running for mayor. I do want to talk about that for just a minute, and I'm gonna say this. I had on This Week in Pearl, the show we did yesterday, I had Earl Dean Rhodes as my guest. Now, Earl Dean is known as the godfather of Rankin County politics. If you are interested in running for office locally or even statewide, you have to go get the blessings of Earl Dean Rhodes. And I know people like, that's just not, yeah, that's true. Cindy Hyde Smith doesn't run for office unless she goes and gets approval from Earl Dean Rhodes. Now, Kim, anyway,
that does make me question something a little bit.
I'm just pointing out that
maybe he needs to have a talk with her.
I'm just pointing out that Earl Dean is who you have to go see, and I'm saying this for a reason, okay? Because Earl Dean Rhodes was elected to the Mississippi House of Representatives at the age of 22. 22. So he still holds the record for being the youngest individual to ever be elected to the state House of Representatives. Okay.
Yes.
And he was also Chancery Clerk for 24 years in Rankin County. But what I'm saying is that he was born in 1936, and he's been around for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. And so he, okay. So anyway,
Okay.
so from Southport. Okay. So I'm saying this like this. We talked on the show, which we'll be releasing it tomorrow. It will come out tomorrow. We talked on the show about politics of then and politics of today. And one of the things we brought up was like the politics of social media. You know, how has social media made a difference in the way politicians go about getting their name out in front of the public? And Earl Dean said, you know, back when he was running, the best way to run was door to door, working hard, walking every single street, knocking on every single door, and talking to every single voter. And when he won in Rankin County to be Mississippi legislator, 4,000 some odd, almost 5,000 people voted in the county. Now think about that. That in the county, that's it. There was roughly 28,000 people registered to vote in the county back then. So a little under a quarter of them voted.
That tells you something right there.
Now we're talking like 20 years out of World War II. Okay. Yeah. That has not changed to this day, but what has changed is the way that we politic.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, yes.
And he agrees that signs don't vote, people vote. So signs, he says, are a waste of time. He thinks that that's a waste of time and money, and you don't need to be putting signs out there.
Oh, no.
You know, that in the yard. Now, that's his opinion.
Oh, no. I definitely have a different opinion on that.
But signs don't vote. They don't vote. Signs don't vote. It's also proven here recently that you can have hundreds of millions of dollars spent in your race, and you can outspend your opponent 4-1 and still get beat.
But okay, let me just say this on a side note. The whole point of the signs is not to let the signs vote. The whole point of the signs is to get your name out there for name recognition. That is one. But you do a huge array of other things that some people just don't do. Because you also, just like we were talking about social media politicking, you can't only be on social media politicking either.
No.
You have to have a little bit of everything. You have to touch the voter in every different type of way. You know, that is the way that you do it. You have to use the signs. You have to use the way that we used to do things. Also, the way we do things now, and everything in between. It's just, it is a little bit more difficult because you have to do all of it. You know.
Yes. You do.
But you don't see a lot of people walking around knocking on doors.
So where was I going with this? So I brought up Spencer Pratt. And Earl Dean has been keeping up with, I asked him point blank, have you been keeping up the LA race with Spencer Pratt and all the stuff that's been going on out there? And he said, yes, he had. And I asked him point blank, I'm like, okay, so he has pretty much run a grassroots campaign. He's been outspent 4-1, but he's been out in the street talking to people, going to barbecues, kissing the babies, doing the things, but he has been running a massive social media campaign.
Yes.
And in his state, that would probably work, except they have a whole lot of cheating. And so where I'm leading this up to is saying this. There's a couple of dynamics that I'm going to talk about here. One, Spencer has been pointing out all of the corruption. And he says in his last drop that he has audio on, and we all know it's Karen Bass, that he has audio on Karen Bass, and he didn't say Karen, he said one of you. But we know.
I don't know, though. When he said that, though, he had a picture of the other lady. I can't even think of her name.
All right, so he said he was saving it for the general. He knew he was going to run against Karen Bass for the general. Why would he save it for the general? if he wasn't going to be running against Karen Bass. So you can put 2 and 2 together. I'm going with the fact it's Karen Bass.
Okay.
Because Karen Bass is an idiot. She is an absolute stupid moron.
Yeah.
I mean, she really is. The only reason why she even holds elective office is because she comes from California. And that should tell you enough you need to know right there. The people that run Sacramento all the way up to Gavin Newsom are stupid. They are power hungry, money grubbing, Satan
Do
worshiping.
anything, including fraud, to get elected.
Frauds, hucksters, stealers, they all need to be in prison. And that's the truth. And I'm just hitting it at the 30,000 foot view. I'm not talking about it in detail, but I am just saying. Now, are all of them corrupt? No. I think, as Spencer says, some of them just go along to get along.
Yes. Like
They're
a
not,
lot of are just soft rhinos.
Yeah, they just
They
go
kinda do
along
the
to get
same
along.
thing.
But you got a handful of them that are in leadership positions that are straight up corrupt.
Yes.
I mean, they just are. When you have NGOs out in the state of California that are 100% funded by the federal government to turn around and sue the federal government, that's ridiculous. But that's what's going on out there. It truly is. And you're paying CEOs $500,000, to be a member, to run these NGOs, and they basically don't exist. They're just on paper.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a crooked thing going on. And what I was asking Earl Dean was the way that he's campaigning, would that be is that the new norm? Is that what we're going to expect? And I think you can say for yourself, you see on, if you're an avid social media watcher like I am, then yes, I would say that this new Spencer Pratt, he's kind of writing the playbook for how future young Republicans,
I'm looking at you, Blake.
future young Republicans can mirror this and go on the attack and say, this is how you defeat this color revolution, this counterculturalism, but the color revolution that Victor Davis Hanson talks about so eloquently. He's got a new book out on this, by the way. Anyway, so I'm just saying the LA race out there, he's proven that it can work and it can really shed a light on things. And one of the latest drops is the fact that Karen Bass's brother, Kenneth Bass, has joined the lawsuit with Spencer and several other people of the Palisades, suing Karen Bass and LA for the Palisades fire.
I mean, he himself lost
and that's his brother. That's her brother.
A huge estate. I mean, had a putting green, pool, big, huge house, and it's just destroyed. And I mean, just it speaks volumes, because typically you would think that the brother would be like, okay, I understand, it wasn't necessarily your fault, blah, blah, blah. He knows it was her fault. He knows that she called the shots, and he's just as mad as all the other, what do they call them? Angletonians? I don't know. I feel like I'm going to get that wrong, but Angelinos. I know. Okay. But all the other Angelinos that lost their house, lost their property because of her, just not caring. I mean, because it wasn't just that happened. Where was she while that happened? And didn't leave, didn't say, hey, I got to get back to my place. It's on fire. Didn't release water from the reserve for the firefighters to help put out the fire. There's just so many things when you list them off that she did that was not just negligent. I mean, it was grossly, criminally incompetent. So kudos to her brother.
Yeah.
For standing up for what's right. Yep. Somebody said Thanksgiving's going to be awkward this year. I bet.
Well, look, the whole thing is this, and I'm using this just to try to talk about what's going on out there in LA, because California is a cesspool of rot.
Correct.
And it's a beautiful state.
Yes.
It at one point used to be the 4th largest GDP in the world. It is not anymore.
The socialist liberal machine got to them.
If you want to see what would happen to this country should the Democrat Party ever take over this country, well, California is a perfect example.
Yeah, between California and New York right now.
Well, New York not quite as bad yet, but it's headed that way.
It's definitely headed that way.
But California, the state itself, is a disaster, and it's because you have one party rule. And I don't know how much longer you Californians are going to stand that, but at some point you better get out your pitchforks and your axes and demand change, because literally they have stolen every single election out there. I mean, they're still counting ballots, Kim.
Ridiculous.
They're still counting ballots.
This is not this is not like a federal election. This is not like a presidential election. This is Los Angeles, a city within California. So the number of people is drastically smaller. It may be high, but it's drastically smaller. And that's why it's just, you cannot look at it
they're still
with
counting.
any type of
I mean, if you can
common
imagine
sense.
this, they are still counting ballots out there. This is absolutely the biggest joke, and we all know it is.
And how can they have counted all the ballots for decades?
This is ridiculous.
In an evening.
Florida has 9 million people that live there, 10 million people, and they get it done before midnight.
Yes.
I mean, we know who won within a few hours of poll.
It just stinks of fraud.
It is 100%. And we all know this mail-in ballot and drop box and all this. Yeah. They keep counting ballots as they keep receiving them.
I mean, so you
could just go out and print a whole bunch of ballots right now and just take them into the counting office and they'll count them.
Do you know that you don't even have to, this is what I heard, but you don't even have to have a stamp seal from the U.S. Postal Service. You just have to you can even have it handwritten.
I know, right?
A date saying the voting date. So you can print it out
and
today.
You can register to vote using your gym membership card. Your gym membership.
They didn't ask for proof of citizenship before I joined Planet Fitness. Okay.
I mean, really?
So what purpose would my gym membership show that I can vote?
This should really clue you in right here. When Sacramento passes a law and Gavin Newsom signs it, called the Nick Shirley Act.
Yeah. Thank you.
To keep you from exposing fraud. That should tell you right there.
And they really need to be, they really need to understand what this will lead to. About that, because it's like legal way, because you keep blocking it.
No, that's why I said they're gonna get their pitchforks and their axes and all their farm tools.
Yeah,
look over in France, the farmers got their tractors and did a protest and drug animal feces out and blew it all over buildings one year.
Yeah, I remember that.
Do you remember that?
I do.
I mean, what is it going to take? I mean,
something like that, probably.
When Spencer was showing it on video, and he's talking about it, and just the devastation that the Democrats have done and to the city. I mean, truly is a mind virus. I really do think that these people truly a mind virus. Anyway, hang tight. I got breaking news for you when we come back involving the FBI, drone attacks, and the White House.
Hey, y'all, Jeff Foxworthy here. Now, if you've ever found yourself repeating the same thing over and over for 75 years, you might be Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
That's why I'm filling in for Smokey to switch things up, because there's a lot more to say. And I should know because my grandfather was a firefighter. And one of the things he taught me is that the people that love the outdoors the most are often the ones accidentally starting wildfires, which means always BYOB. No, bring your own bucket to the campfire. And be extra careful with things like burning yard trimmings. Don't just walk away, or chances are you might be starting a wildfire. So for the love of the outdoors, go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
I'm Larry Nix, host of Defining Moments, and I'm thrilled to announce the launch of Defining Moments with Larry Nix, the podcast, exclusively on IgniteMS.tv, Facebook, and YouTube. You can also listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, and Pandora with real stories, real people, and real purpose. So join us each week as we deep dive into the life-changing moments that shape who we are and for challenges to triumph. Every story has power. We are touching the lives of people with the spirit of hope for life. That's Defining Moments with Larry Nix, the podcast. You can continue to listen to us on 104.3. Also follow us for updates, previews, and more news on our Facebook page at IgniteMS.tv.
Welcome back into the
Frank.
and Kim.
Really big, huge, gigantic, enormous, jumbo size, glamtastic show.
Yeah, what she said.
Piggybacking off of me.
Yeah, what she
Okay.
said. Anyway, welcome back into Tuesday, June the 16th. It is 7:23 on the dot. So, time to go to work, folks. Time to get up, strap the boots on, make one more day out of it.
Or, I mean, you know,
It's
stay
always
home.
no work. Work's good for you. Get out, work with your hands, and get it done. All right. So I
Take
said,
your break.
So I said, I said earlier that the breaking news was coming out about drones. All right. So
Breaking.
released today in the New York Post and several other major papers, FBI arrests 5 people in connection with the drone attack plot against the White House UFC Freedom 250 event. Now, I want you to hear this. Are you ready for this? The FBI has thwarted an explosive drone attack against Sunday's UFC Freedom 250 event on the White House South Lawn and have already taken 5 suspects into custody, revealed today. Multi-phase terror attack allegedly involved using explosive-laden drone aircraft to strike buildings in the vicinity of the event, sparking mass panic and driving the fleeing crowd towards a sniper team poised to pick them off, according to official sources at Fox News. A second wave of attackers then allegedly planned to storm the White House gate. The Bureau, the FBI that is, learned of the plot on June 10th and executed a search warrant in, of all places, Cincinnati, Ohio, where the first arrest was made. Some of the alleged suspects traveled to Fredericksburg, Virginia, on June 12th and 13th to make preparation for the attack. Upon investigating a suspect's iPhone, authorities found at least 23 users of an encrypted chat app in Signal that involved discussing parameters of what could have been a devastating terror attack in the heart of the nation's capital. The suspect told investigators the goal of the attack was to target capitalist elites, billionaires, and politicians who received money from the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, or APAC, according to Fox News. Thanks to the rapid action of the FBI, our partners in the Department of Justice, in a multi-state operation, multiple individuals are now in custody, and allegedly planned attacks were stopped cold, according to FBI Director Kash Patel in a statement to Fox News. I'm going to go on to say, while the result represented the best of investigative work, it also nothing out of the ordinary for law enforcement team. We are built to detect, respond to, and bring to justice those who threaten the lives of American citizens. So, as Rush used to say, and where the paper was, in his formerly nicotine-stained fingers, we have a bunch of morons out of Cincinnati and other places who have decided that they need to send explosive drones into Washington, D.C., and then they want to kill a bunch of people, especially those people who are billionaires. Where have you heard that from?
Yeah.
Capital elites and politicians who receive money from APAC. Kim?
Again, you can have whatever.
What the hell?
You can have whatever opinion you want about what politicians do, how they get funded. You know, we have our own opinions about that. But again, it's one thing to have your opinion, voice it, vote the right way, get other people to vote. And it's another way to go on, you know, a wanting to blow things up and kill people. That's on a totally separate level. And like you said, I mean, the keywords that they use, the billionaires and corporate elites, again, you know, you can have your own opinion about that. But to take it to that step, I still say, like, this is how, you know, if we didn't have the feds step into something like this, we would not have a civilized society. We would have to just go at things on our own, because we have to have a monicum of law, and law has to be abided. And for the lawmakers and the ones that enforce the laws and uphold the laws, they have to be doing their job. And on this side, the citizens have to have respect for that at the same time. It's funny, there was actually a conversation here locally, because you know, again, we had an issue with an officer being shot, and you know, I applaud our chief here in Pearl, our chief of police, who made a statement that the rhetoric around, you know, all cops are bad, and you know, if we don't get them, then they're going to get us mentality is what creates this. And if you start down that road, then you won't have society as we know it. You won't have the people that are there to protect the citizens. And at the same time, like this points back to something like this, because it is the rhetoric, the billionaires, the corporate elites. We got to get rid of them because they're horrible people, and we got to kill them. When you switch over from just not liking them, wanting to fight against them in the legal way, to wanting to murder them, there's something wrong. There's something wrong in this society in the first place. But thank goodness we have, you know, the officials that thwarted it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's breaking news today that this was going on, and I'm talking about this as you're pointing out, this rhetoric that's coming out of the left. Now, Rush Limbaugh, I love going back and talking about him. Rush would point out that the leftist ideologues are accusing Republicans of doing exactly what the left ideologues are doing.
Exactly.
It's called deflection.
Yes.
And so they're trying to say Republicans are doing all of this stuff, but really the Democrats are doing it all.
Anyone that has
and this rhetoric coming out of their mouths is nothing but vile hate, bigotry speech. And you are doing nothing but ginning up ill will, hate, and discontent in this country.
Yes.
You just are.
And anybody that can sit there and have common sense and look at the fact that they scream at the loudest, but yet there's not proof that it happens on this side in any type of huge statistic. But then you go back and look at them, they're the ones that do it. This is it's starting to get old. People are starting to wake up on that fact.
Yeah.
And so the
Yeah.
good thing is
Right.
that people are seeing through that. You know, but then you got like the fraud that's happening in Los Angeles, where
Uh-huh.
it doesn't matter if Spencer Pratt got the majority of the votes, which you know that he actually did. We all know it, you know, okay, quote allegedly, but we all know it.
We do.
That's why it's taking so long, because they are fraudulently making sure that the outcome is what they want. And again, lawmakers need to enforce the laws.
It's a Democrat machine. They're out. I mean, even Hakeem Jeffries. On Sunday, Donald Trump announces that the Iranians have finally said they will not pursue a nuclear weapon. That has been the goal of this entire campaign about pursuing a nuclear weapon. Trump has said they will not have a nuclear bomb. Full stop. The rest of it we can talk about, but you're not having a nuclear bomb. That's just not going to happen. And if it means we have to invade your country, then so be it. And what happens? They finally capitulated, and they have signed a memorandum of understanding digitally, yes, but there's going to be a signing Friday. And yes, there's more negotiating to do. But the point being is, number one, American soldiers are not dying.
No.
Iran's economy is a disaster. There's over $1 trillion worth of damage done to the country. Their inflation is out of sight. They've got gas lines, food lines. People aren't getting paid. It's miserable in that country. And Trump has been waiting patiently as he's proven the blockade that the Strait of Hormuz was shut down because we closed it. We did. We closed it. And as they've been pointing out, we've exported out of there over, several weeks. We've escorted ships out of there with millions of barrels of oil that we've taken out of the country. I mean, out of the Strait of Hormuz, because we can. And we've been doing it.
Yes.
And so the point that I'm making here is you've got Hakeem Jeffries talking about this senseless war that's been a failure and all this. And I'm watching this absolute asinine idiot on TV standing up there talking about this. What a failure it's been. Excuse me, Mr. Hakeem Jeffries, you absolute idiot. What planet are you on? Because for 47 years, your favorite, president gave them billions of dollars and some stupid deal that gave them we paid for their nuclear program.
Mm-hmm.
You idiot. We did. We paid for that.
Yes.
If we'd have had that money back, we wouldn't be that much more in debt.
Right.
That would be great to have that back, but that's not going to happen. We just had to go blow it up. Think about how much money we lost in Afghanistan, Kim, because there was some idiot named Joe Biden who was a vegetable walking around in a suit who didn't know anything. And you end up with a bunch of morons pulling the military out of Afghanistan. And we left, $80 million worth of elite equipment in that country?
It was ridiculous.
Seriously?
I mean, that was really the worst debacle.
Where I'm going with this mess,
it really was,
is you end up with these people on TV, these talking heads and pundits, and the liberal media trying to defend these people, and every day they look more stupid and more dumb and more idiotic every single day. And I'm pointing this out because the election fraud that's going on in California is just off the chart, and they're doing it in broad daylight. And it's their law out there. I mean, for real. But yet on the flip side of that, we have Republicans all arguing and fighting with each other because Trump's not doing something right, or $300 million or $1 billion going to Iran. And all of that's wrong. You're not paying attention.
Fake news.
You're falling for clickbait. And then you end up parroting these things that aren't true.
Yeah.
And you just stop. Just stop listening to that garbage and realize you elected Donald Trump for a reason. And if the man is doing his job, he has proven to me, I don't need anybody else to tell me anything else. He's proven to me that he knows what he's doing, and the people around him are working for us, and they're doing what he tells them to do.
But I will say this, that also needs to go in the ear of our federal representatives.
Well, I haven't finished with whipping them yet.
I'm just saying.
Mike Lee is standing on the floor of the Senate going, we have to pass the SAVE Act, period, full stop.
I mean, and it's not
It
just
has
the SAVE
to
Act.
be done.
It's not just the SAVE Act. I mean, he's also
But we have
making it to
rhinos
where we can't
in
get
the Senate who seem, let me explain it. That is a corrupt organization. That body up there is corrupt as hell. It is horrible. It's the cesspool of the swamp is off the charts. Okay. It just is. And you've got people that claim to be Republicans that are not. They get in these backroom deals. They don't want to have any restrictions on them. They get paid. If they don't pay the federal government, they still get paid. I mean, it is a joke. And these people up there that are senators, do your damn job.
Right.
Do your job that we sent you there to do. And your job is to stand on that floor and debate bills and get stuff passed for the people that we want. Over 80%.
Oh, no, they're scared of debating bills.
Oh, the problem is because they got too many fingers in other people's pockets, and they're getting their pockets lined by a whole bunch of lobbyists and underhand shady deals. And we know that's going on. The curtain has been pulled back. So don't even think about the fact that we don't know what's going on, because we do.
And honestly, if I were a dictator, some of those rules for lobbyists would be drastically changed.
Well, we don't even want to go into the if Frank were dictator speech, because if Frank were dictator,
well, no, that would be if I were dictator.
I could solve this really quick, because I could drag somebody out like Adam Shifty Shift, and we'll just take him out on the front steps of the White House. Right? No, we'll just drag him out of the front steps of Congress, and we'll strip him down to his birthday suit that he was born in, and we'll go get the bamboo canes out, and about one or two of those whippings on his backside, I guarantee you he would start singing about everything that's wrong. He would change his attention.
Let me point out what I was saying though. Some of the issues is the way that these lobbyists are allowed to.
Well, that's because of these idiots we have running the country.
That's my point.
That are in the and that's what I'm saying. We have everything from corruption and stealing and all this and going on in California and New York and other places, and then you've got these rhinos in Congress. Now, so Republican MAGA base and Republican base, listen here. Don't fall for any of that garbage. When you hear these people on CNN and MSNL and all these other stations, don't listen to any of that trash. If Donald Trump puts it out from the White House, that's what you listen to. If J.D. Vance or Marco Rubio or somebody from the administration comes out and says, that's what you listen to. You don't worry about anything else.
Correct.
And you go out and you vote for Republicans. And sometimes, yes, you have to hold your nose. But we don't vote for Nazis. And we're not voting for Graham Plattner in Maine. That guy has got a totem cough on his chest.
But sidebar.
What?
Republicans, let's find people that can beat them and not make us hold our nose. That would be the best thing.
Well, it's just not going to happen. Susan Collins in Maine is the best we're going to get out of that purple state. That's just where that is.
I don't like to just finalize that.
I know that, but nobody else is going to run against her right now.
Right now.
But so you got to go vote for Susan, because that's not who I want. But then you got Lisa Murkowski out there in Alaska. They've got this ranked choice voting crap. That's on the ballot to get rid of that. That was only to keep them in power. That's some California Mickey Mouse, and we don't need none of that crap. That needs to come out. So you Alaskans up there that are listening to us, because I know y'all are.
Yeah. We're
Do your
popular
job
up
and
there.
get rid of that. Anyway, thus ended the rant right there. We'll be back.
Hi, it's Olivia Munn with my shelter pets, Frankie and Chance. Say hi, guys. When I adopted them, I discovered that they both have incredible personalities. Chance's sole purpose in life is to love and to be loved. Frankie is a little bit of a scoundrel and always entertaining. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the Humane Society of the United States, and Maddie's Fund.
I'm Officer Kyle Carmerdale.
And I'm Officer Alfred Jenkins, School Resource Officer with the Pearl Police Department. And our job is to protect students.
Here in Pearl, we have zero tolerance for drivers that break school bus laws. There are 4 things to know. Stop at least 10 feet from the bus when it is loading or unloading. Don't move until kids have crossed the street to or from the bus. The flashing red lights are no longer activated. The stop sign on the side of the bus is retracted.
When we catch you, you get a ticket up to $750, up to a year in jail, or both.
Please pay attention so every student can get to school and home safely.
Welcome back into the
Frank
and Kim. Exception
Really
large,
big,
huge, gigantic,
huge.
massive. Tuesday
ginormous.
at 7:42 a.m. World as we know it show.
Yes.
We are unbelievably in what? The last, is this the last segment?
Yes.
Seriously? It's almost 8 o'clock? Unbelievable. This is amazing. Anyway, we were talking about these morons. We don't want to, I'm just want to sum that up. Don't listen to these people. I was listening and watching Hakeem Jeffries make an absolute ridiculous fool of himself, stuttering, falling all over himself with these words. I mean, seriously, listen to the foreigners that are traveling to this country, coming for the World Cup.
Yeah.
And video after video after video after video after video. I could say that on and on and on and on and on. Are these people going, wow, look at this country. Come here, come travel over here. Quit going to UAE and Bahrain and all these places. Come here. Don't go. You know, that's literally what they're saying. They're like, this country is amazing. There was one UK lady. She was like, I need to be born in the USA. I was born in the wrong country. I mean, literally, these people are like, this place is amazing. There are videos of some Germans that walked into Walmart. And they're like, look at this place. This is insane. They were showing like holding like those big, gigantic 20-pound tubes of meat, you know, those big ones.
Yes.
And he's like comparing it to his arm. He's like, look at this, you know, and he picks up a thing of I think it's salsa, and it's a gallon jug. And it's showing like massive, just, yeah, they're flipping out because they've never seen a country that has everything from, you know, the lakes of Minnesota to the, you know, the plains of, you know, of Texas and all the stuff that the songs are about. These people that are traveling here, even the Japanese are like, I'm so excited. This place is so cool. And they're in Dallas, right? I mean, they're like, this is amazing. But you listen to these morons. What was this event that they had? Counter of the UFC fight, Kim. What was that event? Some Bette Midler's up there singing about fascist and all this, and they look like such idiots.
They
do. And you have these people. I can't say that I'm proud of my country because of that moron that's in the White House. Well, that moron that's in the White House just kept you from getting radiated by an Iranian nuclear warhead, you idiot.
And even though I was not happy about Obama, I was still proud of my country.
Of course.
That never left me.
No. That Kenyan-born guy has no right of ever being president. I wish they would finally get to the bottom of that and we could strip him out of his presidential hood. And sidebar, he still owes a whole boatload of money on his library in Chicago.
Oh,
there's a
I'm not surprised.
there's a whole bunch of minority contractors who are claiming to have not been paid yet and are owed millions of dollars. And that big monstrosity of an ugly building came in at like just under $1 billion. So it was 2.5 times what they said it was going to cost.
That's ridiculous.
What a joke, right? Anyway,
Ridiculous.
Anyway, I want to continue pointing out something that, if you can believe it, another idiot who actually was Republican governor of California, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Rhino.
He I like his movies and all, and Terminator and all, that's great, but he should just be in Hollywood. Nobody cares what Hollywood people really think. Honestly, I don't really care what Taylor Swift has to say about politics. I could absolutely care less. But if you get up there and you bash our country, I will not play you on this radio station.
No.
That will
You've
not happen.
You've proven that point.
Yes. And right now, Black Crowes, off. Not listening to you. Anyway, Arnold Schwarzenegger comes out and proves my own point. He agrees with me. Imagine this. Listen to what he talks about. Arnold Schwarzenegger talks about the self-inflicted high gas prices in California. And this is just this leftist-leaning ideologue, these idiots out here, Hakeem Jeffries being one, says the reason of high gas prices in California, one of the reasons is California legislatures somehow feel like they don't want to have a refinery in California. So now you have to go and ship all the oil to Texas, do the refining, and then you go and ship it back. Well, what happens when you ship it? That creates pollution. It also is absolutely contrary to what they believe in. And it makes it cost more money. Right?
Yeah.
California used to have 9 refineries. They're down to 2. 2. And they're so old that they really need to go offline to be brought up, but we can't do that right this minute. But Arnold Schwarzenegger said, here you've got these idiots. If you want to see what this country would look like, elect Kamala Harris as president. Do you think for 1 second that if Kamala Harris had won the presidency, that we would be where we are today?
Oh, no. Not
Washington, D.C. would still look like a cesspool. People would be
worse.
People would be dying in droves there. I mean, there are leftist nut jobs walking the White House Mall. I mean, the mall in Washington, not the White House Mall, the mall in Washington between the Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Monument that are walking through there, enjoying nice, peaceful, pretty stuff because Trump cleaned it all up. And yet they're talking about, he can't be my president. Really? Well, you're walking where there used to be homeless encampment.
Yep.
And all that's gone.
Crime also, just dropped significantly.
Right. You got the National Guard walking around. I mean, these people, it amazes me that we've got these idiots that really don't deserve a platform. And I can name a few that have been turncoats. Tucker Carlson.
No.
What in the world?
Yeah, I have a few of them where I'm just like scratching my head like, what happened to you? What who paid you to do this? Like, it's some backhanded deal that it's going to take forever to actually see the light of day. Something happened.
Yeah, something happened. And furthermore, the DOJ's been investigating Gavin Newsom and his wife Jennifer.
Yes.
because Jennifer Newsom funneled nearly $4 million to herself from her nonprofit funded by Gavin Newsom's donors. Jennifer Newsom's nonprofit, the Representation Project, is funded in large by Gavin Newsom's political donors. Jennifer Newsom has taken $1.8 million in salary. She sent $2.1 million more to her production company, Girls Club Entertainment, funneled from the nonprofit. It's just money laundering. Now, just so that you know, Gavin came out yesterday and said that the Trump administration was targeting him because he was going to run for president and Trump was scared of him. First of all, that's a joke. But the actual investigation was started under the Biden administration.
Mm-hmm.
The Biden DOJ actually started the investigation. That's the truth.
Yeah.
It's not Trump's DOJ. Although I would like to see some perp walks soon.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
That'd be nice. But it hasn't happened yet. But it will. I really do believe at some point that it truly will happen. Anyway, Kim, did you have something on that you want to talk about Gavin Newsom? I thought you had said something about that earlier.
Well, we also talked about, you and I, when we were discussing this, let me get back to where my information came from.
Yeah.
Yeah. So another thing that's making Gavin freak out is that his own former chief of staff is turning on him.
Mm-hmm.
So,
that
Dana Williamson, his former chief of staff, pled guilty to 3 felonies in May: bank wire fraud, false tax returns, and false statements to federal agents. Yeah. So maximum penalty is 30 years, by the way. So, he's trying to take a plea deal. Okay. This is all, of course,
right,
to save his own butt.
Right.
But this is kind of how you have to fight this. This, you get the people that can connect these high-ranking people and offer them a deal. They will squeal like pigs.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Kind of harkens back to what I said about the caning on the steps.
Yeah, but we're not there yet.
Maybe we should be.
But we're not.
Look, it kind of goes back to what we were talking about pitchforks, and I think you pointed out somebody said pitchforks and torches.
Yes.
I mean, it kind of goes back to all of this. First of all, one thing that Democrats have always been good at is sticking together.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They literally are not like rats. When rats are in fear of drowning, they scatter and they run. They separate. But not Democrats. If they're going to go down with the ship, they all go down.
Yes.
If they're going to vote for something, they all vote for something. It's like they walk in lockstep. Oh, where's that come from? Hitler, Nazism. Oh, really? They all walk in lockstep right to the gas chamber. I mean, that's literally what they're doing. I mean, here again, I harken back. Graham Plattner has a Totenkopf on his freaking chest. And the Democrat Party has lost now all the moral high ground. There is none. When you are supporting an actual Nazi, a person who is who number one, his daddy bought his house. His mama's his number one customer for his oyster farming. He's been accused by multiple girlfriends of all kinds of sordid stuff. He's been on a website for underage girls where he's in a towel, for crying out loud, up until just a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. But vote for him.
This
This
dude
would be great.
This dude is a white guy in the military, from the military. So the Democrats have latched on to him like he's their savior. But yet out of the next breath, they talk about Elon and his wave is a Nazi sign. I don't want to hear anything else from a single person who claims to be Democrat about anything to do with Nazis, fascism, or Me Too movement, or any of that, because you've lost all of that.
Yes.
Every single bit of it. And then you've got all this fraud and money wasted everywhere in California and Minnesota, Ohio, New York, everywhere. There is so much fraud and stealing, and it's all done by Democrats. Every bit of it. And now you got Gavin Newsom's own chief of staff, former chief of staff, who's now been indicted of all these charges, trying to make a deal.
Yeah.
Go to prison.
Yep.
Well, here's your deal. You're going to prison. Now you can talk if you want to or not, but the end result is you're going to prison. How long you stay there is determined by what you want to plead, what you want to talk about.
Right.
There is no, you're not going to go to prison. We need to make that clear.
That's the truth.
You're
and it should always be that way, because you do have a choice. You have a moral compass. And if you did the crime, you do time.
You choose the consequences. If you decide, if you make a choice to do this kind of stuff, like's going on out in California, then you choose the consequences by it. The thing is, Kim, is they never thought they'd get caught.
Right.
That's really what it boils down to.
Always. They
never thought they'd get caught. And now what have they done? It's exactly like what Admiral Yamamoto said in World War II before the Japanese bombed the Pearl Harbor, because he was educated in America, and he told them, if you do this, you are going to wake a sleeping giant.
Yes.
It is not advisable, but they did it anyway. And what happened? If you don't learn from history, you are destined to repeat it.
Correct.
And what I'm trying to say is, these Democrats, socialists, Marxists, communists like Bernie Sanders and the like, the Nazi-loving, tattoo-holding Graham Plattner, women abuser, whatever you want to call him, because that's what he is. These people like Hakeem Jeffries and that idiot Schumer, who's a turncoat, who will say anything for power. These people is who I'm talking about. These people. And what are they doing? They're trying to start a race war. They're trying to divide people. They're trying to stay in power any way they can. They have done enough to hurt this country. And what are they? They are making you mad. And what happens when they mess with your zen, like messing with mine? What happens? When they mess with your zen and they take away from my fishing time, what happens? That's when the pitchforks and the torches come out.
Exactly.
And if we can't solve this with the voting box, at the ballot box, then we'll solve it another way. And I don't think we want to go there, but let me explain something. Have you looked at the map lately? Have you seen how many red counties there are in this country? And you see those little pockets of blue? Yeah, that's who I'm talking to. You people. Just be warned now. There's a lot more of us than there are of you. And it would be really smart of you to sit down, have a Coke and a smile, and you fill in the blank. If you don't like it here, go somewhere else.
Exactly.
I hear Russia needs some more people to fight in their war in Ukraine. Why don't you go there? You love Ukraine so much. We're going to send them more money. Why don't you go there? That'd be a good spot.
Go help them out.
Go help them out. I will help pay for it. You can get on. Matter of fact, I bet anybody would offer up their own private jet just for you to go.
Exactly.
Go join those idiots who have left and gone overseas. Knock yourselves out. But one way or the other, we're taking our country back. Just like Trump said about Iran. One way or the other, you are not getting a nuclear weapon.
Yep.
Yes, Kim?
I agree. And this has been a great show filled with everything. Just go back and watch if you didn't see it. But we are finished here.
Frank for dictator. Fix it in 24 hours.
Yeah, Frank for dictator, Kim for co-dictator.
I could fix it in 24 hours.
And
I could fix it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the show. It's 8:00. If
Yeah.
you have not made it into work by now, you are late.
Yes. Join us next week. Same time, same place.
Same bat time, same bat channel. See you.